The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Bimini Bay development fined for digging on the beach at the wrong time of day. Beyond the Headlines speaks with the resort developer who says he is working with the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. We have the latest for you. Also tonight, a physical education teacher in Andros threatening to shoot the principal and the janitress. Parents are scared. We tell you more. And yet again, the union and its members of BTVI protesting to call attention to the president and her iron rule tactics on the campus. How long will this saga drag on? This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, you've seen the video. It's gone viral all day. Denver Stewart from Bimini alleging that the resort development there, Bimini Bay, is in breach of environmental practices. We're going to quickly speak with Denver and also have a response, an interview with Mr. Ralph Reyes, also the president and developer of Bimini Bay Resorts World. Good evening to you, or hello to you, Denver. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you a lot.
It's your video that went viral that now has people talking, wondering about. I've spoken with Dr. Neely from DEP, D-E-P-P, and she has also spoken to this issue and said they have taken some action. Tell us what it is that you have noticed and that you've brought to the attention of everyone else.
Well, what I noticed is our island been getting tear apart from 1996 up to the present time. You know, this ain't the first video we released to the public. This ain't the first time we see some damage like that being done. Bimini Bay is where the resort is in Bimini. Bimini Bay was the narrowest part of this island. It was the flattest part of this island. And now it's the highest part of the island. It's the widest part of the island. Okay? Mm-hmm. So where we had beaches, now we have sea walls.
And so you're saying they have changed the look and of the island. How do you
changed the natural formation?
The natural formation of the island.
Rock.
Right.
Yes, they pull out the beach rock what nature had in place over 500 years. These rock was holding the natural formation of the shoreline along with the red mangrove, the black mangrove, and the white mangrove.
You said in your video that the natural rock formation on parts of the beach are being destroyed. How destructive is that to the environment?
Ralph, someone called his name earlier. Ralph is the one giving these Mexicans permission to go down on the beach and to move the rock. Because his home is a few homes next to where these guys was doing that work yesterday. So he is the one, you know, giving them permission and giving them instructions what to do and how to do it.
Have you seen any officers from environmental health there?
One lady, I didn't get her name because I think she kind of pissed off with me now. Yesterday when I was doing my video, she was taking a picture or video of me while I was doing what I was doing. And after I finished, I approached her and I asked her, I said, Miss, who do you work for? And she says she works for an environmental group in Nassau called DEPP.
DEPP, yes.
Yes, so I say, do you give these guys permission to do what they're doing. She say they have permission.
Right.
I say from who? She say from the people she work for. I say, so who the people is you work for? She say she work for DEPP. She say she's an overseer who was
Yes.
sent here to
Yes.
Bimini.
Well, I'll
to
tell you,
oversee.
Denver, she is right. They do have permission, Ralph Reyes. He does have permission there at Bimini Bay. I spoke with, on your behalf and on behalf of the residents of Bimini, just to find out more about what it is that you are concerned about. And so they were given permission. The only thing is, I was told, according to DEPP, is that they were digging that you are talking about at the wrong time, in the high tide, and they should have been doing it in the low tide. But they do have permission. They have been fined for digging at the wrong time of day or the wrong time of the tides. But they do have permission there. And so I have spoken to them. Now, if there's anything else that you would like to address, because obviously we are here to ensure that Bimini moves forward.
Now, I can tell you something, miss. Dealing with all of this, I don't even know who to trust. You understand what I'm saying? Because I used to Bimini, the government, whoever these people is, DEPP, none of them is living Bimini, miss. Okay?
Yes.
Biminites have to live here. We've been living here for hundreds of years. All of a sudden, these boys come here with a couple dollars, paying off whoever they're paying off. The woman from DEPP, I just sent her picture out. I just had a conversation with her. She told me that they did not have permission to do what they're doing. Okay?
Yeah, they have. I'll tell you, I spoke with, Denver, I'll tell you this. I spoke with the director because after your video, I reached out. I jumped on the story. I even spoke with Mr. Reyes, which is coming up in just a second. But they do have permission. The Bimini Bay, as you know, the residents of Bimini and others greeted the opportunity because it's now a staple project there that's provided hundreds of jobs. Yes, you want them to be environmentally responsible. And so I have been assured by the director herself, Dr. Neely, that yes, they are environmentally responsible. And yes, they have been fined because they have been digging at the wrong time of day. It does something to disturb the natural beach and sand and all the rest of it. So therefore, for that reason alone, they have been fined. Otherwise, she says that they have been in line with every request and every demand and law of the Department of Environmental Planning and Physical Planning. And so I just want you to know that. Now, you continue to watch and see what happens, and whatever you need to do to come back here on this show and bring it to our attention, certainly we welcome that. But I want you to just stay exactly where you are. And as I now shift to speaking with Mr. Ralph Reyes, let's do that right now. Well, I'm now joined by Ralph Reyes, who is the owner and developer of that project that's happening in Bimini, to get an idea of exactly what's going on and the work that you heard described by Denver just a moment ago. Mr. Reyes, thank you very much for joining me here on Beyond the Headlines. It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show.
Let's talk about the claims being made. There was a video that went viral today. I'm not sure how long it's been circulating, but certainly today, accusing you of causing damage and destruction to the beach, to the shoreline there in Bimini. What's happening? What is being done in terms of the resort that you now own and the work that's being done?
Okay, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to express that. I just literally saw the video not even 30 minutes ago, and I was flabbergasted. I was really taken back for the unfounded representations that were made on that. So the work that you see there, all work and anything that we do on our development has 100% been approved and vetted out by either Best Commission or now, in more recent times, DEPP.
Yes.
Okay. So that are false representations being made. That what you see in the video also is we're moving additional sand, okay, from the area where we did the work to ensure that other, surrounding reef and life does not get affected. Okay. That's all being done systematically under a protocol in order to do the work that we're doing.
So there's no disruption or destruction of the shoreline, the beach there, the rocks that was claimed in the video act as barriers for during storms, that kind of thing?
No, ma'am. Actually, we've even created an iron shore protection uh, jetties on our property. On the contrary, we're preserving the shoreline. And even some of my prior approvals, I even provided a mitigation opportunity to help even secure the shoreline of the local community.
Now you
So, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
ma'am.
No, go ahead.
So yeah, so like I had mentioned, unfortunately, the person that's being representing that, and I just saw the video, I didn't even know when I was first seeked out by your show, that person happens to be being evicted. That person's been living on our property illegally and using the water and electricity and not paying and so forth, and also conducting business without a license or the proper insurance requirements, and has created a liability not only to us, but he's created a liability to the cruise ships and the port and the people that are going there. No one wants to have an issue. And in order to be able to provide those services, shore excursion services, you have to be approved. So this person is being evicted from that and being evicted from living in a facility that he's not allowed to live in. And I guess he's just going out and making unfounded representations to hurt us, or I guess to twist our arm into cooperating with him. I really don't know what he's trying to accomplish.
So he's been squatting for years, and now that he has obviously been evicted, this is a part of what the pushback is, you're saying?
100%. Look, let me tell you what I have realized. I'm a developer here in the United States and in the Bahamas. And I don't think that the Bahamas receives enough credit for how professional and how much scrutiny goes into getting an environmental approval, whether it was originally BEST or DEPP. Even DEPP now has really stepped up their game. The level of due diligence that DEPP does is, for me, possibly more professional than what Army Corps of Engineers does in the United States. There is so much scrutiny. Like, for us to move a piece of equipment or do any work on our property, it has to go through a protocol of environmental compliance managers. There's people living on site looking at every single move we do and reporting back to DEPP.
So, Mr. Reyes,
Nothing happens.
I'm happy to hear you. I'm happy to hear you say that, because I wanted to ask about the oversight. You mentioned DEPP. Of course, that's an arm of the Ministry of Environment. He is speaking of that they have strict oversight, and you would not be able to move one grain of sand or, as you say, try and just write something, whatever you're doing there on the beach, without their input, oversight, and daily scrutiny to ensure that what is being done is in compliance with keeping the environment safe.
100%. Look, the Bahamas' most important attribute, as developers in this property, okay, our most important attribute is the beaches, right? Is the ecosystem. How does it make any sense for us to harm that, right? Now, I imagine that there are people that do harm the environment. And I know of a lot of issues in Bimini that are not environmentally sensitive, that are unrelated to us, right? That I'm not going to get into. But how does it make any sense to harm the very attribute that we are trying to market? So for me, it's really disappointing, and it's very frustrating to see a gentleman like that misrepresent us, because when they misrepresent us, they're also misrepresenting the country. Give the country, give your administration, give your country a little bit more credit, okay? I have people there that will fine me $100,000 if I move a grain of sand to, whatever it may be. They'll fine you immediately. They have incredible control over everything that transpires. Mm-hmm. On top of that, nowadays, they're even getting coordinates. Even if you build a house, they get the coordinates of your home. Mm-hmm. They have such strict. I really honestly have to take my hat off to DEPP, because they have done that. Look, I'm under a lot of environmental scrutiny. Of course, developers wish to have less, but I have been at this project and building at the forefront of the environment of this project since 2003.
Yes, tell us very quickly. I'd love to interview you further, Wayne, because I know you're headed out of the country later at some point in this day. But I'd love to sit with you further and hear more about it. But very, very quickly as we wrap up, just tell us a little bit more about the project that you're doing in Bimini that you've been working on for several years now.
Okay, well, I'll let you know. This particular video is attributed to phase 2. Let me tell you what phase 1 is. Phase 1 is Bimini Bay and Resort World Hotel. So we have built on the island of Bimini, we have built 308 hotel room, a casino, the largest marina in the Family Islands with 242 slips, commercial areas. We also built a cruise ship port, which to build this cruise ship port, we also were attacked legally by NGOs, non-government organizations, misrepresenting the facts that we were killing reefs, and it couldn't be further than the truth, and that's why they lost in the Privy Council. And they still even owe us the legal fees, which they haven't paid for. But, well, that's water under the bridge. So we have, not only that, we have 300 port of calls. We have 300 cruise ships that are coming to an island that is not like a proprietary island of these other cruise ships where no one gets anything. The number one amenity when people arrive at that island is a golf cart. So they can run into town and buy the conch salad and buy the sky juice, whatever they do out there, right, that they like to do and they like to explore. We always want to collaborate with the community. That's our phase 1. On top of that, we built 379 residential units there. That project alone employs, okay, and all of our companies under the development company, which I'm the president of, employs 600 Bahamians. I think Bimini only has about 2,600 Bahamians.
Yes.
Right? So we employ 600. Just do the math there, okay, of what percentage of employment to the island population. Do that with any other development, and you're going to see that we have been a stellar anchor project to the community. Now, phase 2 is comprised of 95 units,
yes,
of which we've completed 58, and it's still ongoing. Substantially decreased density. As the project goes forward, I have been decreasing the density of that development. That development was originally approved back in 1995, before we purchased it, for around 5,000 units. I started doing environmental due diligence. I started realizing this is not sustainable. And over the years, I continued to reduce it. From 5,000 units, we have reduced it down 3/4 of that amount, substantially more. Why? Because we're understanding the environmental work. The protocols which the government puts us to makes me partially a quasi-environmentalist, and I know what has to be done to preserve that environment, preserve that project,
Absolutely.
and allow it to be an annuity for our family and for the people of Bimini in a sustainable.
And for those who visit, of course, this is Resorts World Bimini Bay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ralph Reyes. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Thank you so much.
You did a pretty good job.
Thank you for responding immediately to me and agreeing to this interview, and addressing immediately also a video that went out there and easily painted a different narrative. And I thank you for stepping in and answering right away. Thank you once again for appearing on Beyond the Headlines, sir. Looking forward to speaking with you further.
No, it's my pleasure, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Of course, that's Resorts World in Bimini Bay. They're on the island of Bimini doing incredible things. You all know of the resort, and you all saw the video. And thank you so much to Mr. Reyes for coming on and responding to that immediately. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're back right after this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden, total stranger. I'm calling you Rick and Sheila. Like,
I win. At Island Lock, we take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Luck Sportsbook.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, of course, that situation in Bimini, we will continue to watch, but I was so happy that I was able to get the principals everywhere, really, as it relates to that development. We had the president, Bimini Bay, and the Resorts World, and of course, Denver, who initially put it out there in a video that many of you have seen. Then, of course, the director of DEP, Dr. Neely herself, also responding. And so we really understand what was happening. Simply, though, what the resort was doing is with approval, but just carrying out that work at the wrong time or the wrong tide. And so, again, you know, development is always welcome. It's needed, in fact, for the continued growth of the economy, but responsibly. We're going to jump in right there this evening. Ellington Ferguson and Garth Rosborough, my contributors. It's so wonderful having you both here. Good evening to both of you. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Shanique, once again. So it is a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, gentlemen, Garth, I didn't give you a chance. I know you want to say good evening as well.
It's a hot day, but it's a great night tonight, so it's going to get a little bit cooler. I welcome it.
You welcome it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you know, your thoughts on that row in Bimini, where the resident appears to say, listen, man, hold up, we this are things, this Bimini, we want to keep things the way it's always been. But, you know, progress is needed, growth is needed, the economy is needed. Growth in the economy is needed for the benefit of everyone, but it has to be done in a very tender way that respects also the environment.
Absolutely, Shanique. I can't agree with you more. And I must say kudos to the young man, Denver. We need him, more Bahamians like him, not only in Bimini, but throughout the islands of the Bahamas, to be watchdogs of what's happening, what's taking place in these spaces. Certainly, of course, we heard that the persons who have gotten the requisite permits to do what they were doing, the digging, for whatever purpose they were doing it at, only thing that they were doing it at the wrong tide. I think it said that it should have been done at low tide. They were doing it at high tide and they were fined for it. I'm not sure of all of the ramifications of what the dangers are doing it in low tide versus high tide. And so that leaves me not even able to understand the levy that has been levied against them, the fine that have been levied against them of $20,000, whether that's inadequate or not, all depends on the amount of the damage that can be caused doing it in low tide versus high tide. We hope that these investors and developers will try to go as close as possible to abiding by the restrictions that the environmental impact suggests and stuff like that, so that we can mitigate the minimum damage to our reefs or the shoreline, whichever one it is.
Well,
And so,
you would
yes.
hope so, Ellington and Garth. You would hope so because, you know, if you listen to Ralph speak just in the last segment, he said, listen, whether it's best or whether it's now DEP, which is extremely stringent and has eyes all over the place, including on the property and on that project, that they abide by that and they're extremely strict. In fact, he says, and it's oftentimes stricter than what he meets in the United States in his business.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, I'm always a fan of progress. I'm not certain I'm very comfortable at this particular time with these recent developments, and I'll tell you why. As we look even at our capital island, New Providence, where Nassau is situated, look at your shoreline. Look at who controls the shoreline. And right now, the local people here in New Providence, we have to fight to find places to recreate in our own waters. What I'm hearing coming from Bimini is a concern for their waters there. And all reports given to me from Bimini is that Bimini is a booming situation. It's a booming island. As a matter of fact, people who go to Bimini, they brag about how great it is to visit Bimini. Even Bahamians love going to Bimini. Absolutely. We have heard of tales of Martin Luther King who sat there in Bimini and enjoyed himself in Bimini. So when we talk about the fishing capital of the Bahamas and the whole entire region of Florida, people leave Florida to come all the way to Bimini to fish. Why do people want to develop Bimini? Because it's to their own advantage. But their own advantage, Shanique Miller, may very well mean the disadvantage to the local Bahamian citizenry. And so I, for one, I question this development. I've seen developments here in New Providence where Bahamians are not allowed to go on the beach and develop anything. I happen to live on the shoreline. I happen to live where mangroves are. I've actually seen where mangroves have been destroyed for development, yet you tell me and you preach to me that Bahamians need to be so aware of our environment and our ecosystems. What are you trying to tell us, Bahamas? What are you trying to tell us, those who are responsible for these developments? Should we pay attention to the ecosystem or should we not? We feel left out. I feel left out. For me tonight, Shanique Miller and Ellington Ferguson, I feel a little bit bothered about this.
Well, I'll tell you this. We trust now that this sort of further strengthened department that's being led by Dr. Rihanna Neely, that it is doing just that, protecting what is for us. We see the importance of the mangroves, the importance of rock formations, whether they be in the water or on land. They were put there by nature, by the greatest creator of them all, to be able to protect land. For example, the Bahamas is widely a flat nation. We have seen that we will lose certain parts of this nation over a period of time because it's low-lying, and so Mother Nature will reclaim itself. And so I would hope, of course, Garth, they're extremely strict on Bahamians, and they give the developer sort of almost like, hey, you can have at it as long as you meet this and meet that. So I would hope, though, that being meticulous not only applies to Bahamians, and I know it's a stronger hand on Bahamians, but also to the developers. And in this instance, like Rare said, listen, it's in his interest, as well as anybody else, to keep Bimini beautiful as it is, because people will want to come to the resort that he has pumped millions of dollars into. So I would want to trust his word, but not me, the people who are responsible for environmental oversight, that they're doing just that.
I like what you said, Shanique Miller, and Mr. Ferguson, just give me a moment, because Shanique just said how this land was created by God. It's a beautiful place, right? I live by the shoreline. I'm not going to call the resort's name. They blocked off an entire creek, Shanique Miller, in the western New Providence, okay? Wow. When you blocked off the creek, my house sits right in front of that creek. I own the property 30 feet by 100 across the street from me. That's in my name. The minute I even touch any of the mangroves on that property, my very own local Bahamian people, they made the complaint. I see Bahamas National Trust driving past my house. I see the police officers driving past us, and everyone's looking at me, and I dare them to walk on my land. It's my land, if you want to really know the truth. But why do I have to be scrutinized as a Bahamian? Why do I have to work hard for what I own, and yet you're going to tell me what I can do? Yet a developer can come and block an entire creek, Shanique Miller. You got gray
Stop the natural
snapper.
flow of everything.
Gray
and
snapper.
disturb the nursery.
This is what I'm saying.
That's what I want to
Gray
talk about. The nursery that
snapper.
is
Yes.
We got barracuda in there. We got all this baby fish in there. The nursery, as you just said. And guess what? You go there parts of the day, and the whole creek is dried up because the natural flow is not taking place.
See,
it's
and
dry.
that is the issue. And guys, I know we can get further into this, but that is again, that's our elected officials. Look out since the time of independence. Look out for Bahamians first. Yes, we know anywhere in the world, obviously welcome migration that'll further help and boost an economy and further grow a nation. The Bahamas is no different. In this instance, developers, we need it to help grow the economy. So Bahamians also benefit by not just saying, how do you like your coffee? Hot or cold, with cream or without. And so the thing is, no, we need that real wonderful benefits as well, but also to protect the land that is ours. We saw Dorian and what Dorian did when you mess too much with the natural topography and habitat of these various areas. They're there for a reason. Man can't recreate it. It was put there for a reason. Gentlemen, we have to move on. We could come back, we could revisit this. That's hugely important. But get this, y'all. This here is unbelievable. I mean, you would think this is a Lifetime movie coming up. A physical education teacher on the campus of the Clara E. Evans Primary School in Nicholstown, Andros, is in hot water tonight. That PE teacher, after an argument with the janitress and the principal, threatened both of them and says he's going to return with a gun to shoot them up. This understandably has parents on the quaint island fearful and concerned. We get the story from Linton Ritchie Jr. and then we come back and discuss.
He's going to go to his car and get a gun and shoot up the place. He's from Baytown. He's been to jail before, but he was a big boss. Let's view me and Glennis out of money.
Fear and frustration are reaching a boiling point at Clara E. Primary School in Nicholstown, Andros, as a group of concerned parents claim a physical education teacher has created a hostile and unsafe environment for their children. Speaking to Eyewitness News under the condition of anonymity, parents describe the teacher's behavior as, quote, unprofessional and disrespectful, saying incidents have been building for months, but one alleged threat to, quote, pull a gun on campus was the final straw. Another parent referenced an outburst during a track meet claiming the teacher mishandled students just steps away from their families.
Telling the other children to make sure beat Clary Evans students. Terrible. It was horrible. They were so sad. He left many in tears.
Documents obtained by Eyewitness News, including letters and petitions to the Ministry of Education officials, show that parents have been calling for action for weeks. They say they were promised an investigation but have received no follow-up. Since then, they claim the teacher's behavior has only gotten worse.
The district office, they're not moving, they're not acting out on it. They're not willing to sacrifice our children's well-being.
One parent says her child is so afraid he refuses to return to school, setting off alarm bells in her mind as a mother.
He said, Mommy, what if Mr. Williams gets so mad at us one day that he just go in his car and take his gun and shoot us up? What? Is that something for my 8-year-old child to be saying to me?
Despite the seriousness of the allegation, parents say they feel ignored, but they're not giving up.
I'm not sure if it's because persons are thinking that this is an island. We're not having that. Okay, we care about our children. That's what it's all about.
Well, now listen, y'all, that right there sounds like something somebody made up. But if I wasn't there with Linton as he conducted those interviews and spoke with the concerned parents, I would have figured that he somehow just needed a top story tonight. Your thoughts on this? This man who threatened and said so many other stupidness, as you all heard, also threatening to return on a campus. We see this stuff play out in the United States, unfortunately. This is not what we need, and in particular, nowhere in the Bahamas, but on a family island.
Well, Shanique, I am certain that the Royal Bahamas Police Force that I know, this gentleman is in custody. He's on the way to the capital to be charged and to be placed before the courts. There's no way in the world we should be taking these things lightly. There's no way in the world this person should be, even whatever the outcome, he should not have a job with the Ministry of Education going forward. And this is unfortunate. Again, we talked yesterday about mental health. We got to watch these things carefully and pay close attention. Don't take these things for granted, because these people will follow through on their threat. And so this is a very unfortunate situation. I'm hoping that the police already moved in on this and is dealing with this as we speak.
I think it was very well said, Mr. Ferguson. Any threat of death or harm is to be taken very seriously. In our remote islands, closely knit communities, this is going to actually just go ahead and just simply just blow its way through the community. The local people will have to be in fear. Where are these guns coming from anyhow? Why is everyone talking about guns? Why is everyone talking about shooting? Where's the stress level coming from? I say, Shanique Miller, we need to check even beyond just the threat of death. We need to find out what's really going on that island in terms of the whole mental health of that particular island and society, because many of our people are right now under enormous strain.
It's not even mental health. It's the fact that these people cannot seem to resolve issues and conflicts. That is the key issue, particularly with these men and these men of color. I don't care what you all say. These men of color seem to want to show that how bad they are, Their head ain't good, and they gonna show you. Well, you're right. I certainly hope that he is being shown, and I'm waiting to hear from the Ministry of Education further about this, because we will revisit this during Week in Review, if not even on tomorrow evening show, but certainly later this week, because it's quite disturbing. It's disturbing to hear that this is now what's happening on our school campuses. No, unacceptable. Gentlemen, thank you both very much. Good to have this discussion. When we come back, we're going to shift gears entirely. You new mothers or expectant mothers out there, pull up a chair. We have something for you coming up after the break. Stay close.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself has put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry Commercial Vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon, flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financial credentials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you join us this evening. Well, we're going to shift gears right now and talk about health, women's health. In fact, women's health during birth and after giving birth. And that is, of course, breastfeeding. The Pan American Health Organization is focused in on breastfeeding. In fact, of course, it is Breastfeeding Protection Day. And it's so funny because this really is, it is more real to me now because I just had my uncle's wife who gave birth recently and just saw it firsthand maybe for the first time, seeing that. And so it's a very important thing. And so, of course, the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, wants to ensure that Bahamian women understand that it's still something that, don't follow new trends, stick with what works and what's important for the health of a baby. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all here. PAHO, hello to you. Thank you for joining me here on the show and for discussing something that is still very important. It's still something that mothers should be aware of and obviously pay heed and attention to. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Listen, let's just jump right in, please. Nurse McCarthy, it's good to have you. And I know you've been leading this charge now for quite some time. This is a passion for you, Nurse McCarthy, and you obviously are now the voice of the PAHO as it relates to this. So let's talk about this. It is World Breastfeeding Day. Why is it so important to protect something that we would just think is natural and normal?
Yes, it's World Breastfeeding Protection Day. Today, which is the 21st of May. And why we have found it necessary to protect breastfeeding is because they're realizing through studies that there is a good or bad decline in the women breastfeeding exclusively. Right now, it stands from the Caribbean countries and the Latin American countries, there's 43% of our babies are only being exclusively breastfed. Out of 100, that's not a good thing. Okay? So we would like to increase that number. We would like to see that number to go to 50 or to 65%.
But why not even maybe 80, 90%? Because it's important, and we will get to the place where maybe for some mothers and babies, it's just difficult. So we'll get to that in a moment. But the point is, if we can get to, because 80, 90%, that is for a healthier baby, isn't it?
Yes. The babies will be healthier. The babies will have less diarrhea, constipation, neonatal jaundice. They will have less illnesses, not all those rotten teeth, those crooked teeth. Okay,
Wow. So
all of those problems.
breastfeeding impacts all of that, the development of all of these areas?
All of these areas.
Even cognitive health?
Even cognitive health, the learning ability of the child, how they understand and conceptualize how things are done. All of this is impacted when you exclusively breastfeed these children.
Wow, this is really quite interesting, Nurse McCarty. I know you've been the voice of this. Let's talk about it further. But why is it so difficult, though? Or why has it become difficult? Has it always been difficult?
Well, let me tell you, in times past, in the centuries before, this wasn't a big issue. Breastfeeding was never a problem because women stuck to the natural way of doing things. If they had a problem, they had the midwife or their mother there to just guide them along. But in times of these that we are in now, women are working women. They are delaying having children. There is things on the television talking about formula. People are being brainwashed into formula feeding and to do it the new trendy way.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So
is it also
we have a problem.
Is it also vanity and a bit cosmetic, because
oh yes, I was about to say that. I want to give the women a good culture shock right now. No matter if their thing is, if I breastfeed, my breast can sigh. I have news for y'all. No matter if you breastfeed or not, if you are not physically healthy, exercising on a regular basis, and even when you do that breast going south. Okay? So please stop using that as the cop-out not to breastfeed your children. You have your children's lives formation in your hands.
But it also
is the foundation.
Yeah, exactly, because it also forms that bond that is missing nowadays.
Oh yes,
it also helps with learning. We see what the national GPA continues to be from early ages all through school. I imagine breastfeeding has the nutrients necessary to ensure that kids just can cognitively show up, whether it's preschool, primary school, and so on, and further on throughout tertiary education.
Shanique, you look like you've been doing your investigations. Listen here, those the DHA or those antibodies and those good stuff in that breast milk, those leukocytes and all of those good stuff to keep the baby healthy and to give them good brain development. All of that is in that milk so they can understand, comprehend, and be loving as to their fellow mankind and to their parents and to their siblings.
So the kid even develops that sort of internal loving, wonderful human trait that causes them to be from a kid all the way to an adult, just a beautiful human being.
Yes.
Now, is this
I would like to share a little joke that Mrs. Carlotta Class, I'm sure you've heard of her before. She has passed away now. She would always crack this little joke. She said, why is it? A man came and said, why is it that people are giving their babies cow's milk? Let me give you all an analogy. Breasts are close to the heart and the brain. Cow milk is close to
can I say it? I don't know if Urka will allow me. Even though words have been said on the show.
That's why they act like beasts.
That's why
they act stupid.
That's why they act like donkeys, yes. that part. Can I say that? Can I say it like that?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yes. Nurse McCarty, is it true or folklore that within the first 3 months or 6 weeks, a baby doesn't even need water if they're being breastfed?
Yes, ma'am, you are very correct.
Okay.
That's why we encourage women to exclusively breastfeed, meaning only human milk. No water, no Karo syrup, no flour pop, no gripe water,
They
nothing
give the flour
else but
pop
human milk.
at that young? First of all, it's not
These
healthy
people
at
doing
all,
all
but
kind of foolishness.
wow.
Giving flour pop, saying the baby need to get full. They need something extra. They
Wow.
need to grow. You know? All sorts of foolishness these people are doing and practicing and making and compromising these babies' small little stomach and intestine.
Exactly, and that is why the Bahamas is largely so unhealthy because of our diet. And obviously it starts from that young because mothers aren't doing what they should do. Let's just talk about the benefits to the mother to breastfeed.
Okay, first of all, women who breastfeed exclusively have a lower risk of ovarian cancer, breast cancer, okay? They have a lower chance of getting, or there's a reduced risk of getting osteoporosis, that's softening of the bones, okay? So if you slip and fall, when you get a little older, you may, you know, you could broke your hip, you could broke your arm, your leg, and stuff like that. Other benefits for mother are when she is in the postpartum period, she loses her pre-pregnancy weight quickly.
There's an incentive.
The uterus was the size of a watermelon. Now it has to go back down to the size of her fist. And within 4 to 6 weeks, it returns back to this size. Once she breastfeeds, involution takes place quicker and quickly because the uterus contracts because of the hormones involved in breastfeeding, like oxytocin and prolactin. Okay? So they are some of the benefits. Other benefits for the mother is it's more convenient. All you do is bathe every day and you take out your breast and you breastfeed your baby. You and your baby could be right, your baby in the crib or in your bed, and you just take the breast out and breastfeed. Convenient. You don't have to get out your bed and go to the kitchen, get water, get a warmer, bottles and all of that stuff. And you don't got to worry about that. You just take it out and feed your baby and offer that and you straight. There's other benefits. Of course, they say women who exclusively breastfeed their babies, there is a lactation amenorrhea method that happens, meaning once you're breastfeeding, the period stops. So once you don't have a period, what happens? You don't get pregnant, Okay? But that only works if you're only breastfeeding, okay? You can't be giving some formula in the night and breastfeeding in the day or vice versa. You have to just only breastfeed only.
Yes.
That will work.
Yes.
For the first 6 months.
For the first 6 months?
Yes.
Wow.
For sure. And some people, it's delayed further once they continue to just breastfeed. And they're giving them, once you start adding food and other foods for the baby, that may not work anymore for you, okay?
Because they obviously will have an appetite for the foods introduced.
Yes, because they're starting to get teeth at 6 months and they can now start to, they know how to chew. And now it's time for them to start adding the rice and the cereals and the mashed potato and all those other good veggies and stuff to the diet.
Right.
Okay?
How can families assist and support breastfeeding mothers?
Oh, that's a wonderful question you asked, Shanique. We need to support our mothers. I want these mother-in-laws, these mothers, these grandmothers, these husbands, and these relatives, sisters and brothers to support our women to breastfeed. You shouldn't scorn her or mistreat her. Oh, you still giving that baby that breast? Oh my goodness. You need to stop that. He too big for that. He got teeth. You know all of that, those type of talks. Sometimes there's a good thing for you to do. If she has to go to the beautician or somewhere, you help her out, okay? By keeping the baby for her, and you cup feed her baby for her, okay, while she's away.
What do you do?
Pardon?
What do you do?
Cup feed the baby. See, when we give the nipple with the bottle with the breast milk, the baby tends to, once the baby gets teeth, they will bite the mother's breast. So we prefer you to cup feed or sip cup feed your baby the breast milk.
With the breast milk.
Yes, because once you use a bottle, you ever try to take a bottle away from a baby that is on a bottle? You ever notice when you try to pull it away, their teeth is clenched onto that nipple?
I imagine so, yes.
Yes, but when a baby is on your breast, they do not have to bite your breast to get the milk. If you look on your breast, you'll see some small little holes. They are called Montgomery glands. And this is what helps to fixate the baby on the breast. They're like suction cups, you see? And they hold the baby onto the breast.
Wow, that's amazing.
The baby does not have to bite you.
Yes.
To bite to get the milk or the suckle at the breast.
Right. Any final thoughts?
Oh my goodness. I would like to tell people breast milk is the best thing you can give your baby. I would also like to put out there for our people to tell them that these employers, please have a place in your establishment. It doesn't have to be very big. For your mothers who work for you to be able to pump and store their milk. And make sure they have a little fridge, a special little fridge, just to store their milk in it. Okay? And to have a comfortable place to be.
And have it marked, that's for sure.
Of course. Because remember, you might not be the only person there pumping. Okay? And I would also.
Not only that, if people figure they're going to have coffee with milk, it's a whole different thing in the workplace.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. If it's your milk.
If it's your milk, why not? Why not drink your own milk? That's a different thing altogether. Nurse McCarty, you are always passionate about this. This is something that you lead the way in educating Bahamian mothers. Certainly, thank you so much for stopping by. We welcome you again to continue just like pounding this message so that we all get it. It's important so that women understand the importance and just the privilege of breastfeeding. And so thank you so much for stopping by from the Pan American Health Organization and the Ministry of Health. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good for you to have me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, the Denver steward from Bimini, also the president of Bimini Bay and Resorts World, Mr. Ralph Reyers, and of course the Hot Topics panel. Good to have them as well. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.